I think the most important part for, as I would say, as a key elements to include in the resumes and cover letters for the blockchain related positions is first, of course, to mention your technical skills, especially in the blockchain related position. It's important to highlight your proficiency in blockchain related technologies, or like any experience that you have with blockchain. I would say those are relevant experience. You can mention about details or work experience directly that are related to blockchain projects, or including contribution to open source projects that you have done, internships, or previous employments that you had. You could also include your certifications or education as well as a part of the key elements in your resume. If you don't have any experience yet, then pretty much it's good to showcase some of the certifications or educations. If you have been involved in some of the projects and you have done some achievements as well, those are important as well to describe any personal or professional projects that are related to blockchain in your resume. Last but not least, of course, and it's also some people don't do it that often, is to highlight your soft skills as well, of critical soft skills, as problem solving, of teamwork as well, or communication. Those, of course, will be assessed during the interview, but good to mention in your resume as well. Um, Tailoring your resume for blockchain industry. What are the best case practices, right? Generally, not only for blockchain, but generally any candidate, or like if you're an applicant applying for a job, you always have to tailor your resume based on the requirements of the job. Um, this is much simpler. It gives you a bit of help, specifically if it's blockchain. Usually hiring managers or like the recruiters would highlight the requirements for the job. And that's actually a great guideline for you to be able to tailor your resume in the specific industry. First, of course, use this industry specific keywords, use some kind of blockchain specific technologies or terminologies and keywords in order to get the attention of a recruiter who is screening your resume. Also, mention about relevant experience. I wouldn't say I don't want to mention any technical roles here, but let's say if a role like, let's say we're hiring an account executive, right? And then if you had pretty much similar roles in the past, but you had different titles like a territory manager or sales manager, it's important to tailor your titles as well to the requirements or to the title of the job opportunity in order to get attracted by the recruiter, because generally recruiters or anyone, they usually spend from 6 to 10 seconds maximum sometimes per resume screening. So you have to get their attention from of course getting the tailoring your at least titles. Customize your summary as well in the cover in the resume, to sum up your experience, what you have done with blockchain, and of course to mention your passion in the blockchain and the eagerness to develop. To stand out as well, you can also mention about your portfolio. Create an online portfolio. If you're a developer, you can create an online portfolio on GitHub as well, repository showcasing your blockchain project, code samples, and contribution to open source projects as well. So yeah, those are the some of the tips to tailor your resume. I think the first question that you will probably get, if you don't have any Web3 or blockchain experience at all, the common interview questions for the blockchain or Web3 positions first can be, can you explain how blockchain technology works, or what is blockchain initially generally? So, and I don't blame anyone at this moment, because blockchain is kind of there is a terminology called singularity point where no one knows where the capabilities of blockchain at the moment. There is nothing, we don't know yet how we can fully utilize blockchain, and therefore there is no like indefinite answers in a way that, but at least knowing what is blockchain and explaining how blockchain works is beneficial. what are some other questions can be related to what are the differences between, let's say, some small stuff, right, between some of the different code samples as well. Recruiters might ask, or during the technical interview, people might ask, how do smart contracts function? Can you describe a blockchain project you have worked on? What kind of contribution did they make that project? Usually, those questions will be related to the situationals, and you can also use a STAR technique to be able to answer to those questions. Describe the situation, describe what kind of task you have been given. Well, and then in the end, you have to mention about the result, and that's how you can actually stand out from the other applicants as well. At settlement, we of course give out some tips as well in our public handbook in order for the candidates to be prepared for the interview as well. So we give them some examples of the questions that we ask or like what to expect from the interview. So that's why it's important to research about the company, understand what they do, understand their mission or like the product as well to be able to answer some of the questions during the interview and best be prepared at fully. Of course. I think showcasing potential with limited blockchain experience might be hard. There are so many people out there are passionate about blockchain. There are so many companies as well working with blockchain as well. And of course, we tend to receive so many messages from the interns as well, from those who are just studying about blockchain. They want to get some experience at least from in the blockchain industry. It is hard, really, definitely, to see that the person has the potential or not, but at least you can stand out from other people as well. Tailor your message, the reason why you want to get some kind of experience from the specific company. Let's say you're approaching settlement. If you showcase your interest, a genuine interest that you actually can, that you're interested in the product, that you're interested and you have done your research about settlement and you have done your research about the product and how product works and you know the different use cases and you understand genuinely what we are doing and why we are doing. And of course, that actually makes you stand out from other people who are actually want to get some experience with limited knowledge or with limited past experiences in blockchain. First, I think, and if you have already applied or if you see a vacancy that you feel like you're a great potential, you have great potential to develop in this role, it's important to mention some kind of transferable skills in your resume or cover letter, highlighting skills that from other tech or finance or any other different industry that are applicable to blockchain, such as coding or cryptography or system design or anything else that can be beneficial, right? Showcase your learning and development curve. So if you can showcase your proactive learning efforts, you have taken some of the additional courses, you have taken some additional classes during the university. Those are the things that could actually make you stand out as well. So there are some people that actually stand out as well as showcasing their potential. Those are people that run their projects, personal projects, within blockchain. Those can be just from running the webinars, getting the insights from the industry leaders to going all the way to making their own projects with their friends. Can be it from NFT, can be from crypto, but at least like some of the basics understandings of those part of the blockchain as well. And of course, networking, engaging with blockchain leaders, or going to the events, getting to know people, learning from them, what are the trends that are happening with blockchain, and of course, by that, you can showcase your interest and of course, maybe get an internship at least from those companies too. There are so many common mistakes in the application, in the interview process as well. First, I think let's start with an application, right? So first is the generic application. Submitting a generic resumes or cover letters without tailoring them, as we already mentioned that it's important to tailor your resume to the specific role or a company. It's actually, you can see that you have applied with the same resume to different positions. You have applied, and then also some of the people they get too lazy to tailor their cover letters, mentioning a different company name, mentioning a different title, and applying for a different company with a different title. So that's one of the common mistakes. The second mistake that we usually get, let's say, of course, you tailored your resume, you tailored your cover letter, you got our attention, you got into the interview. Then the second mistake is, of course, lack of research. Failing your research about the company, about the projects we do, without the missions and industry standing before the interview. This is important because first thing first, interviews or recruiters would usually ask, why us, right? Why you decided to apply for our company? And understanding, and if you definitely showcase your genuine interest in the company, you would definitely go and research about the company, about the products, about use cases, and that will actually catch their attention as well. But if you haven't done any research, that will actually stood out and actually would be a mistake from your side. The third thing will be over-promising or over-promising skills, I would say. For soft skills, it is easy to learn and to quickly get things done. Technical skills as well, you can learn, of course, but those are the things that will stood out in the straight away if you got into the job. During the probation period, it will be obvious that you don't know you don't have some of the skills, because those are important soft skills, or so those are the important tech skills or skills that were required, and that you're hired for those required skills. And if you don't have, then it means that the company will be like, not having those skills at this moment. I think common mistakes would include as well a poor communication, especially blockchain industry is not that evolved at the moment, and there are many startups. And of course, working in a startup means that having a good communication would be beneficial. And yeah, I think those are the common mistakes that we usually see in the application and in interview processes as well. All right. Here, probably I would talk not as a recruiter, not as an HR business partner, but I would talk as someone who looked for a job in the past, and how would I determine company culture fit with the ones that I have, right? First of all, I would research about the company. I would look into their company's website. I would look into their values, mission, and recent projects that they have done, and if they align with my personal goals as well. If I understand about the industry, researching a lot, it actually helps to understand if this company actually has a good company culture that fits your values or not. I think there are different resources where you could actually research about the company and get some reviews as well, such as Glassdoor or LinkedIn as well. I would always go to Glassdoor, check the company employee reviews, or anyone that we currently encouraging all the employees, not only employees, but also the candidates to leave the reviews, because we want to showcase how great of a company we are, or like if there are any points of improvement as well we could make in the employee engagement. But that's where you can actually learn about the company culture. Research if they match with your values, if they match with your vision within the industry that you want to work in, and if the reviews on Glassdoor are actually positive or not. That's how you can actually determine that company culture fit with your values. You can also engage with current employees. There is an open source called LinkedIn, where you can go and actually search employees working for this company. You can connect them, generally showcase your interest that you want to work for this company, and ask some questions. Prepare your questions. If they have time, probably ask them for a call. If they don't have time, shoot them a message asking for some tips, or like generally reaching out to current employees on LinkedIn to get insider perspectives on the company culture, what is it like, or just follow them on LinkedIn and probably get their news features as well, like updates from the company. The probably if you don't find those information, it happens with the culture in the company as well. You can ask them during the interview. Ask them from the recruiter. Inquire about the dynamics of the team, work environment, and company values during the interviews that you have, not from the recruiter, but also from the hiring manager as well. Get to know what is team dynamic, how is it working in your team, what makes you a great manager as well, right? So ask them during the interview. You can also observe it during the interview process, the way how interviewer or like the company or like generally employees and these people would interact with you. Pay attention on how interviewers interact with you, like if they have like a respectful manner or like if they're rude as well. Pretty much that actually showcases the company culture. And of course, company's online presence, because if you have some kind of moral ethics as well in terms of like sustainability, you can actually see that companies are paying attention in terms of the sustainability. They are offsetting their carbon footprint. You can see those such things on their social media. If such things attracts you, then probably it's a great company for you to work in. So yeah, those are, I would say, the ways how you can determine a company culture fit.